know, we plan each week a month ahead of time, exactly who's gonna do what. Don't you know that things sometimes don't go the way you planned? Things haven't changed, Chuck. They're all the same. Today, we did not have a third speech because Jim Rush had business that he had to attend to. But after the meeting started, Jack Kantola came to me and said, would you like to have an impromptu speech? And I said yes. So Jack is our next speaker, doing a last-minute non-book speech. He has visited over 60 countries around the world. On his adventures, he has met and interacted with people from very different cultures and religions. Today, he will share one of these expenditures. Speaking for 5 to 7 minutes, please help me welcome Jack Kantola.
When I lived in England, my daily routine was to go and work out at the workout area of the Holiday Inn in Slough. And one morning I finished my workout, and after the workout I would go and take a sauna, because that's what Finlanders do, right? So I'm sitting in the sauna, and this guy walks into the sauna, and he's got this towel wrapped around his head. And he looked kind of different. Mr. Toastmaster, most welcome guest and fellow Toastmasters. I mentioned this to a fellow at work, and he said, oh, a towel head. You know what? Oh, he's a Sikh, the member of the Sikh religion. Well, over a period of time, I got to know this fella. And it's something that we should all consider when we're experiencing those things that are strange or unusual to us. Take the time to find out, to educate yourself. And I got a good education. Because we would sit in that sauna and talk on a regular basis, because he would work out as well there. I learned, for instance, that he was from Kenya. And I learned that he had gone to pharmacy school in Edinburgh, Scotland. And during one of our conversations, I said, well, that must have worked out well for you. And he said, well, you know, when I got up there, it was strange. I was the only Sikh, apparently, in town. And he said, I'd be walking down the street and people would cross the street to the other side to avoid interacting with me. And he says, it went on for a while, and he says, I'm going to be here for a number of years getting an education, and this can't go on. And so what he did was he went to the administration of the college in Edinburgh and said, could I borrow a classroom for an hour on Sunday afternoon? And they said, sure. He went and put signs around the campus, and all it said was, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, come and learn about the Sikh. When Sunday came around, they had to move the meeting from the classroom to the auditorium. He said, I got up in front of this group of people, and for 35, 40 minutes, I just explained who I was, why I wore this turban, what my beliefs were, and what, you know, how I live my life, and why I live my life the way I do. He said, we were there for another 2 hours, just answering questions. And I said, well, what was the result? He says, I never had a problem after that. He said, I was able to interact with the people, I had a good education, I had a good life, and now he was working as a pharmacist in the city of Combrook, the town of Combrook. Now there's a man that had the right idea. Rather than reacting negatively to the lack of interaction, he took the bull by the horns. He knew that if people understood, if he took the mystery away, from why he was practicing the religion he did, that people would have a different opinion. That happens so frequently now. When the Muslim radicals attacked the Twin Trade Centers in New York City, the automatic reaction was every Muslim is bad. Last weekend, in the last couple of weeks, we've had 3 mass shootings. All of those mass shootings were done by young Caucasian American Christians, supposedly. I have not heard one outcry that said that we should hate all Christians. That's stupid. It's just as stupid for us to say that we should hate all Muslims. What we should do is we should make an effort to introduce ourselves to a Muslim. There are plenty of mosques around the Inland Empire where we can go and learn about the Muslim religion. And we can find out what it's all about and find out why it's different. So I think that we should really take that into consideration when we do that. My wife and I traveled in Southeast Asia for 50 days in 2012. One of the experiences we had was in Thailand, where we had a lecture by a Buddhist monk. And they all walk around in their saffron robes, you know, and there are oodles of them every corner. There are monks. But we found out why. But the expectation is that every person should be a monk for at least 30 days. You can go from 30 days to life. But one of the things that happened was when we were answering questions, making comments and asking questions to him, was they were walking around these robes, and one said, I think it might have been my wife, said, where do you keep your stuff? So he opened his robe, and he had a vest on with many pockets. So all those mysterious questions that you have, instead of worrying about them, letting them labor you, letting them create prejudices for you, learn about them. Learn about the different religions. Learn about different cultures. And you recognize that we're all not that different after all. Mr. Toastmaster.